If someone had told me this before I turned 30, it would have made a world of difference in my life, and I can't emphasize it enough. So if you're about to turn 30, or you are 30 and you're trying to navigate the world of the 30s, you're very much welcome, because this year, September, I'll be turning 33, and I feel like I've had a lot of experience, or I wish I knew this, hard truths before I turned 30. So I'm here to take you through that. Hi guys, my name is Peace. If you're new to this channel, you're very much welcome. I hope you join the family. So this is the world of the 30s, and I've had my fair share of experience. Who would have told me, like when I was 25, I'm making a long list of things that I wanted to achieve in my life, that, not all of them will be possible. Maybe I would have slowed down on writing these things, or wishing that they were going to happen for me before I'm 30. This is not to say that you should not have dreams and aspirations and all that, but from my experience, just have it at the back of your mind that when you are writing these things, know that not all of them is going to come to pass, and it might be a harsh truth. It is what happened, and it is what has happened to so many people that I know that have turned 30, or that are starting to navigate the world of 30. And for myself, I've had my fair share of this experience. Just a quick backstory. So when I had finished uni, so I'm one of those that finished uni very early. Like at 21, I had finished uni. And if you understand Nigeria, like very many people finish uni very early, 19, 20, 21. So I had finished around 20, so I finished before I even turned 21, because my birthday is in September, and school finishes July, August. So I finished early, and I was very happy because I had this world that I was hoping I was going to come into and be happy in that new world. But this was before NYSC. Then I already had my dreams and aspirations all set. Like I've written this long list of things I wanted to become, But then I just noticed that after NYSC, okay, I was not getting jobs. Nothing was happening. All the things I had said, for me, I wanted to be a CEO. Not knowing that, like dreaming to be a CEO does not mean that it is going to magically happen for you, because, I read chemistry in school, right? Industrial chemistry. So I had wanted to own a manufacturing company. I had this, this, that. I want to get married before I'm 30. I want to, have children before I'm 30. I want to do this. I was so excited. As you can see, like the rush of the excitement is coming back to me right now. And it is quite exciting. But then when I was making that list, I never knew that, not everything I had wanted was going to come out just the way I had wanted them. So now I have finished, NYSC, applying for jobs here and there, nothing. I even had to come to Lagos, like I applied, nothing was working out for me. At this point, I had to start working in my uncle's company, because he owns it, like he runs a printing press. So I just go there every morning as if I'm going to work. I just go there, use the free Wi-Fi, apply for jobs. So because the jobs were not coming, I decided to apply for masters. But then masters was very expensive, and being in Nigeria, the exchange rate with the UK was outrageous. It has always been outrageous. Now it is even worse. But then it was not still cheap. And for myself, I did not come from a rich home. I just had uncles here and there that were always, dropping something every now and then. But then because I had free access to that Wi-Fi, I started applying for different things. At this point, after applying for several master's degrees or scholarships, I got to find out that, one that I had applied for that was supposed to give, £3,120 as the scholarship out of the £12,000 scholarship. So I just decided to apply because, it's not like I'm doing anything, nothing, at least I don't have a job. I'm just coming to my uncle's office to use free Wi-Fi. So I just decided to apply. Even though I get it, there was no chance I was going to be able to raise that money. But then, I applied. I wrote this essay that, now that I look back at that essay, does not make any sense, but I wrote that essay, and long story short, I got the scholarship. And not only did I get the scholarship, I got 6,000, basically cut the school fees into half, which was like an extra 3,000 something pounds that was not what I expected. And this mail that I got the scholarship came around 1 a.m. Ask me what I was doing awake around 1 a.m. But I was so excited at this news because it felt like nothing was working out for me. But then all of a sudden this news came, so I was so excited and decided to tell my uncles in the morning because I could not contain my excitement. I can't remember if I even slept that night because the excitement was just too much. So the next day I was so happy, I called everybody. But then still, it was when I was telling everybody excited that I found out that, like, even that other 6,000 something pounds that I needed to pay, there was no source to pay for it. This was quite interesting. But then luckily my uncle decided, okay, we'll try and raise this money, let's see how it goes. But long story short, I ended up going to the UK. I got my master's 1 year later. That time, at the time I went, there was no 2 years extra for you to look for jobs. But even though I tried, looking for jobs and applying for PhD, that did not still work. So this is just telling you that, like, not every single thing, even when one works, it might just be like the next one might just, disappoint you, not making you feel bad about yourself. I've had all these experiences, so you should take, like, whatever lesson you can take from my stories that I'm telling you right now, because you can find yourself very disappointed. But know that it is, even though not everything happens, but then nature works together with you to bring you to the place you get to eventually. But now I finished my master's, I had to come back to Nigeria because I did not get a job, or I was not able to apply for a PhD because then it was still very expensive and I did not get a scholarship despite, applying for many. So I came back to Nigeria and was applying for jobs again here and there. Even when I wanted to work in the manufacturing industry, like, I knew that I still needed the experience. And then it was not like there are so many manufacturing industries in Nigeria that you can easily apply to. This, my story continued because I had to, apply for so many. At one point, I even had to start creating my own, like, organic cream at home. Yes, I was one of those that, had to create organic creams at home. Even though I'm not very proud of this, but it was quite an experience and I learned a lot from it. I got to find out about, like, the different dynamics of doing business. I found out that, like, marketing was what I hated the most. With all my blood, sweat, and tears, I hated marketing. But even when the product was good, I only ended up, selling mostly to family members because I could not really go out into the street and be marketing the product and all that. But that brought its own, like, experience and, all that came along with it. So fast forward to, like, the end of 2017, because, I came back from the UK at the beginning of 2017, and all this experience of making skincare products happened within that, like, early period, because I came back in February, I believe. So by the end of 2017, at one point I got a job, but this job now was where I had to settle for just 70,000 for, like, the salary. And it felt very exciting and annoying at the same time, because, like, it was when I started the job that I found out that even 35,000 out of the 70,000 was going to become, like, my transport fare. So just imagine all this, from someone who wanted to be a CEO to now receiving 70,000 naira salary, and, even having to feel excited about it. But I feel like my excitement at that time was just the fact that I got to leave the house and I got a job in the manufacturing industry. Although I was employed to create, like, new products for them, over time the company folded up that aspect anyway because of budgeting and all that. But that, I still got the experience I needed. So fast forward to 2018, even when I am not a CEO yet, like, I still keep that dream very high. But I got a job in, like, one of the big organizations in Nigeria. After looking for a job, just getting that opportunity was a huge turnaround for me, even when this was not the path I wanted for myself. But at least it created the opportunity for me to, meet people, create connections, have information about the Nigerian economy. So even now, when I think of, okay, I can still branch out and start creating just something within the manufacturing industry that I've always wanted to be. I've always wanted to be a CEO or a director, or just a woman of influence, or a person who has, like, authority and her words carry weight. And even when I'm not there yet, I feel like, being in this place that I am currently is something that, is leading me towards that place. So what do you think you can take away from this, my story now, even though it is not, like, the most glamorous story, but it is just the fact that, like, life might take you out of course of what you wanted, like, you've already had list, or you've already like all these are going to happen before I am this certain age, but then you find yourself like, nothing is working for you. You wanted to become a manufacturing, CEO, but then you find that you are just selling, you now own a boutique, or you are now working for somebody or that. This does not mean you should still lose sight of this dream, even though it might feel very devastating at first. Just, think of what you can learn from that experience of where you are at that moment. While you are saving, or while you are, going, taking the steps to that place you want to be, you can also be learning and grooming yourself for that position. Let's say you want to be a CEO. You can always still dress to that your new work, or that your place that you're currently working at, like a CEO. This will eventually make your brain to just come together and work with you. Nature will work with you, and you find that over time you just find yourself veering more towards that CEO that you've always wanted to be. Although most times we don't always get what we want, but keeping those thoughts or those dreams alive is something that will make it easier for you to get there. Because if for myself now that I talked about how I wanted to get married before I'm 30, and yet I am still not married, but that does not mean that I've lost sight of the fact that I will get married, I will have children. It might just not be the right time for you. What if I had children before I was 30 and something had gone wrong? So I think of these things in that way. So even when they are not working out exactly as I have written it, but then I feel everything that's happening to me right now is just leading me to that place I've always envisioned for myself. Because even when I look at it, I might not be there yet, but my mind and body just still feels like I'm going there. I don't know if you get what I mean, but this was my experience of how life had just taking me 360. But then when I look at where I am now and the information I have the opportunity to have because of the place I now work in, I feel like it will be more easier for me to now go into that field, or even have it as a side hustle. While I'm still grooming myself in this career that I currently have, I can still have this as a side and still grow it. But then you need the experience, the finance, and to go to that place you want to ultimately be. This is how if I had known, I would have not created that long list of dreams and aspirations at that time. But that does not mean that those dreams and aspirations are still not valid, because I just wish I had used lesser energy in creating that list, because I had a long list of things. I'm a very ambitious person, and everybody around me can attest to that. But I feel like that ambitious nature, or that curiosity, or that need for more in my life is what has brought me to this place. So it is important that you have that abundance mindset at the back of your mind when you are creating that list. If you are one that has not gotten to 30 yet, or if you are one that has gotten to 30 and you are navigating this new world that you found yourself, you're very much welcome, because I'm just turning 33 now, and I feel like I'm getting old. But then those main things that I wanted to achieve, I have not achieved them. But that does not mean it will not happen, because we all have our own stories. So for anybody that is becoming 30 soon, or you are just clocking 30, you're very much welcome to this world. You might want to join this family, because I'll be bringing you my experience as a 30-year-old or a 33 years old living in Lagos, Nigeria. I've had my fair share of experience of life, and I'm still experiencing life, and I'm enjoying my phase in life right now, and I would love to share it with you guys. But basically, if there's anything you have to take away from this video, it is that create that list, but don't be hard on yourself when those things that you've put on that list does not happen at the time you want it to happen. That does not mean it will not happen. It might just take time, or it might just take you through different hurdles just to prepare you to be in that position. So I thought to welcome you to this world of the 30s. And I would love for you to join the family. Click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.